Right. I wasn't ready. Hello, I'm John Hartledge, and this is the day of weird. I just feel really strange. I don't know why. Let's do a second take. Hello, I'm John Hartledge. Welcome to my channel. We're going back to Germany because Germany, just like Italy, just like Spain, just like France, is, of course, one of the Euro wine motherships. In a past episode, I mentioned France as being the wine mothership, and I probably made all kinds of winemakers upset. You know, it's hard to make that distinction. The histories go back millennia, especially when you're dealing with grapes like Sylvaner and Riesling and Eiswein. Yes! I can't wait. I can't wait. I know my producer with her sweet tooth is really looking forward to that cork going off. Ice, ice, baby. Let's chat wine. Ice, ice, baby. I know I already sang it, but you know what? It's just something catchy because we're talking about ice. E-I-S in German. We are talking ice. Fun new wine opening device. Clear, acrylic, looks like glass or ice. This is all about frozen. But I promise I will not do anything related to let it, go somewhere. Not gonna do that. All right, ice wine from excellent producer. I've actually reviewed a number of wines from this producer, Leonard Kreusch. I love the Rhine area. I love Moselle, but I just lean a little more myself towards the Rhine. But what a nifty story we have to deal with here. So ice wine literally is iced wine, and the best guess is that it came about in Germany by accident somewhere in the 1800s. There must have been a fluke early frost that froze the grapes, and the winemakers didn't want to lose everything, so they said, let's see what happens. And what happens when you freeze grapes, it's the water that's being frozen. And if you get them pressed before they thaw at all, you're actually removing that water. What happens when you remove the water? The juice, that juices, the water in that juice, then everything left behind is intensified. And that's exactly what happens. So you get a little more of a viscous, sweet liquid. Now, he's made it really easy, Leonard Kreusch, with a little pull tab, so I don't have to use my handy device, but you could. But let's go ahead and look at that. So, dang, took the up. I'm so glad. I wasn't sure if with that we'd have a twist off, I said, or a glass top. I'm so glad I'm seeing an actual real cork, and that makes sense because ice wine continues to develop in the bottle. But the percentage of alcohol is 10.5%. You think, okay, much more sugar. This is really late harvest. So this is the 2018 vintage. That means it was actually picked in January of 2019. So they have to have the right temperature. And here's the nitty gritty. The nitty gritty is the temperature has to be -7 Celsius or 19 degrees Fahrenheit. And you have to pick the first night that you freeze, because what's going to happen is as soon as a little bit of sun comes up or the daylight comes up, it's going to shine or it's going to reflect off the slate content in that soil. It's going to heat up just enough that they're going to thaw. Done. Because freezing breaks down cell walls. When you break down the cell walls, you are under a timeline, big time. Usually it happens at night, wee hours of the morning, actually from the middle of the night to the wee hours of the morning. In this particular case, January 21, 22 of 2019, there was a what's called a blood moon, and it was a total lunar eclipse. Okay, help me. The Earth positions itself between the sun and the moon, blocking out all the light that usually comes from the sun, giving you a moon. Nothing, but it tends to be kind of this reddish kind of thing, so they call it a blood moon. But that was just a really amazing thing that happened to occur this particular year. But 2018 was a fabulous vintage in Germany, and to have it with this perfect frost, that's when all hands on deck. And that's why it's very much a labor challenge, because here's the deal. If you're going to produce a regular wine, Figure 4,000 liters of juice per every acre of fruit. Ice wine, 100 to 200. Drastically less. And that's also why the price is kind of expensive. If you get an ice wine, some ice wines can be upwards of $100 or more. $25. One of the best, most authentic German wine producers, Leonard Kreusch, but offering fabulous valued pricing for authentic. So even given that, to be able to charge $25, oh, here it comes. I love that this is clear because now you can see the cork. See that spiral went down in, now it's gonna bring the cork right up out of the bottle because it's a real cork, there's plenty to grab onto, it's reasonably young. If this were aged, I would be using a different type of corkscrew, and it's already off. Look at that. And look, it has two little holes on it there. If I just hold that cork, now I'm just gonna take the spiral right out. So here comes the spiral. Beautiful. And the cork drops. Nice. And I'm gonna put that right back on that. Beautiful. And if you have a need, look at that. It's a nice little recorker, but the cork's in pretty good shape. But this way, we don't even take the chance. We go, whoop, right down on that. It says nice little rubber gaskets there. Perfect. All right, now let's take a sniff. Beautiful cork. There is so much flavor and intensification because you've frozen these grapes. And also, here's the thing, January. Imagine all the weather changes that have gone on. You haven't gotten to a freeze, northern Germany, but you've gotten really cold, you've gotten warmed up again. Cold, warm. Molds, the botrytis mold, the noble rot, which also tends to start to raise in your grapes, that's taken hold. Now, you might ask, why not just freeze the grapes? You know, just put them in a freezer and pick them. You get more, and you get much more juice. They do that in New Zealand. And yes, that ice wine is very inexpensive, but also very different. It's not, you don't get those raisiny kind of developed flavors and those intensified flavors. It's excellent, it's sweet, it's beautiful, but it's not as intensely flavored, and it's a much different kind of flavor. This goes to those kind of tawny, raisiny, developed kind of fruit flavors. Nice. Let's see. Oh, wow. The grape is Sylvaner, not Riesling. Now, they do use Riesling, very much so. Riesling because it's a nice acidity and tends to be a little sweeter on the ice wine. This, and also this might be why the price is a little better, a grape called Sylvaner, which actually, oh, it's really cool. Sylvaner makes a great table wine. So it's viscous. I get this wonderful honeyed kind of feel. And I did say, expect more sugar, why not more alcohol? The viscosity actually stops the yeast from fermenting. It actually, at some point, the yeast die because they just can't continue their process of fermentation because of the viscosity. It's an amazing thing because you think, okay, more sugar, more alcohol. You know, the yeast just no, that viscosity really controls it. But like I said, Sylvaner, originally from Central Europe, I'm thinking in the Romanian area and Transylvania, yes, literally, but ended up in Germany and was really very much associated with the wine called Liebfraumilch, or in the really bona fide German, Liebfraumilch. The L kind of drives the up. It's a little bit like a cat thing. Liebfraumilch, which was a blend of white wines, Müller, Thurgau, Riesling, Sylvaner. But Liebfraumilch really kind of got overproduced, and Sylvaner was overproduced, so it kind of fell by the wayside in popularity. But some producers have been using the Sylvaner because it is an excellent grape, and they didn't overproduce it, and they did a beautiful job. And the acidity of the Sylvaner gives this ice wine beautiful structure, and my guess is fabulous value in the bottle for all of that beautiful ice wine aspects and ice wine flavors that you want. The primary, the secondary, and soon to be tertiary, if you get a bottle of this and just sit it down, forget about it for like 5 or 6, 10, 15 years. I'm very excited. This is very good. You can have this with almost any dessert, but really would love this with creme brulee or with nothing at all. Come back and see me again. Let's chat wine.